Welcome back to Naked Narcissism. In today's video, we are going to explore the intricate dynamics between a narcissistic mother and her daughter being raised by that narcissistic mother. So that is the topic for today. It is often a very misunderstood relationship, and I did a video a while back somewhat on this topic, and it's probably my most popular video to date, and I think it was time to explore a little bit more in depth, and so that is what we're going to get into today. But I want to first lay the foundation for this before we get into the 3 key points that I'm going to talk about today, and that is that it's really important for you to accept this one fact, and that is that if you are a daughter being raised by a narcissistic mother, you have to accept that your mother needs you in order to carry out what she's doing. And by need, I don't mean in a healthy way. I mean that a narcissist, whether that's your mother or someone else, but for this topic, it's your mother, that narcissist needs someone on the other end to receive what she's dishing out. So she needs you. She needs you to accept whatever she's doing. But this unhealthy need is not about a mutual love and respect relationship. It means that narcissists need supply, and supply can be anyone, even their children. And so you have to accept, and I know this is really hard, it's easier said than done, but you have to accept that you're no different than anyone else in their life. And a lot of times my clients have a hard time accepting that, because if you're normal and you're watching this video for help, you're likely the normal one in the relationship and you're trying to figure out what's going on. And then being that we're normal, we can't fathom that our parent doesn't think of us any differently than they think about the mailman or someone else. But that is the truth. They don't think of you any more special than anyone else. You are just supplied to them. So I want to lay that foundation first so that we can understand the rest of the key points in this video. And again, I am empathetic and understanding how difficult it must be to accept that one fact, but it's really important to do that before we move on. All right, so let's talk about the first key point. So the first point is I want to try to clarify what the narcissistic mother and her non-narcissistic daughter relationship is characterized by. So the narcissist is going to display grandiosity, lack of empathy, and just a sense of entitlement, meaning, again, that you are just an extension of their ego. So you are supplied to them. And so because you are just supplied to them as the daughter, you are going to grow up in a household where you feel misunderstood. You are going to feel like you're inadequate. You are going to have feelings of having to act outside of your authentic self. Your mother is not going to value you as a separate individual with likes and dislikes and a personality that needs to flourish. You're going to grow up thinking you have to stuff your authentic self down in order for the narcissist to be who they need to be. And this can be very direct or it can be indirect. You get the message in childhood that you don't matter. This will lead to feelings of low self-esteem, problems in your intimate relationships, problems in relationships across the board, not just your partners or intimate spouse or anything like that. You are going to feel inadequate because you have not had the benefit of growing up in a healthy dynamic or a healthy family and a healthy household where your human development is encouraged, and where someone is like a mother is looking down on you or looking at you thinking, how can I make my child the best that they can be? That is not the household you grow up in. And so you're growing up in a household where you realize you don't matter, your feelings don't matter. And so that's the first key point, is just understanding the nature of this relationship. So if you are resonating with this content and you like this kind of content, give it a thumbs up and put a comment below and let us know what it was like growing up in your household. So I want to give you an example of what this might look like as being an extension of her ego and you don't matter. So let's say that your narcissistic mother, let's say you're a teenager and your narcissistic mother hasn't really spoken to you in a week or so because of something they perceive you've done wrong. And by wrong means anything that you do outside of what the narcissist wants you to do. Sometimes that's just putting a dish away a certain way. It could be not doing anything wrong, but the narcissist has perceived it as wrong and she's giving you the silent treatment. Yet she's got a new boyfriend coming over, and right before that person comes over, she is treating you like the best thing since sliced bread. She's, maybe even buys you a new outfit to wear, and she's like talking to you and acting like the last week of silent treatment didn't even happen. And she's telling you all the things she wants you to do and say and behave, and you realize that if you don't do what they want you to do and you don't say what they want you to say during this visit with this new boyfriend, you're going to have hell to pay. And so you are just doing whatever is necessary to lessen the abuse that is going to come if you don't do what the narcissistic mother has told you to do. And then let's say the narcissistic mom is interacting with the boyfriend, and the boyfriend decides to leave early because maybe the boyfriend has realized there's something off about your mom, and they leave early. The narcissistic mother is likely to blame you for the short visit by the boyfriend. You didn't look right. You didn't say the right thing. You're just used for their own purposes. And that's what I mean by that dynamic where you don't matter. You're just supply. So I just want to kind of give that example so you know what I'm talking about. Now let's explore the second point here in this video. Point 2 is all about the profound impact that being raised by a narcissistic mother can have on you as the daughter. When you've spent your entire life trying to get in front of the abuse, meaning, if you know that your mother doesn't like one dish in the sink, or she wants a cup a certain way, put in the cabinet, put away a certain way, and you don't do it. You learn exactly what to do in order to please the narcissistic mother, because all you want is the mother's love, and you keep trying and trying, and you never quite get it. It's like chasing the carrot around the track, right? You're never quite going to get there, but you keep trying. And what that does is, in your own personal development and human development, you are growing up with questioning your own reality. You are growing up with false perceptions. You are growing up in a way that you are getting the message, again, that you don't matter. You might even have a constant need for approval and validation, and that can wear out on relationships if you're constantly seeking approval because you never got it from the mom who was supposed to love you unconditionally. You may also begin to be your own worst critic. You may sort of use your mother's voice. You might say to yourself all the things that the mother has done to you or said to you. You might internalize your mother's voice and begin to beat yourself up the way that your mother has done your whole life. And that can really have a profound impact on your life and in the way that you whether you have joy or not, whether you have a healthy relationship in your adulthood. The mother's relationship, if you have been used and abused by your mother your whole life, you are going to grow up with a lot of unhealthy patterns in relationships. Let's give you an example. Let's say that you really love animals and you're growing up in this household where all you get so much love from pets, and you want to volunteer at an animal shelter. Well, your mom might tell you, no, you're not going to volunteer at an animal shelter. You're not good with animals. Let's say you then start saying you want to be a veterinarian. Well, if your mom was not successful in a career or in life in general, she is not going to promote you and, build you up so that you become this veterinarian. You're going to hear things like, you are so rough with animals. I don't even know why you think you're going to be a good veterinarian. She might even have friends over and repeat this lie that you're rough with animals. You overfeed animals. You say you love animals, but then you do X, Y, and Z. And it doesn't have to be true. None of it is true. Narcissists don't care about lying. That they're good at lying. They're good liars. They are pathological liars. So if you grow up thinking that you're good with animals and you love animals, but you're constantly hearing from your mom that you're horrible with animals, you might not reach out and become this veterinarian just because you begin to believe what your mother's saying, because why would a mother lie about something like that? It must be true. So that's an example of where you start to have self-doubt about your own reality, and it's really sad because you probably make an excellent veterinarian, but because of your mom, you're maybe not reaching for that. But if you can get away from your mother and start to have a different voice in your head through a therapist or a really good support group, you might become that great veterinarian, which really leads me to point number 3. Point number 3 is getting on that path, on that journey of healing your soul. You have to break free from the toxic cycle from having a narcissistic mother, and recognizing and acknowledging that the patterns in the relationship with your mother need to be broken, meaning she is destructive to you, she is toxic to you. So you need to find a really good therapist and find a really good support group, because if you've been raised by a narcissist, that narcissistic mother has taken up so much real estate in your brain. She's consumed you for probably much of your life, your childhood all the way through adulthood, depending on how old you are. Probably much of your life, you have the voice of your mother in your head. And the best thing that you can do is go no contact. And even if your mother has passed away, that is no contact. But if she's still alive, I want you to go no contact, so that you have this separation between you and her, so that you can replace what is going on up here with healthy thoughts from a therapist and a good support group. And I developed a course called How to Leave a Narcissist, and there's a description of it in the box below. And I've put everything in one place, where if you need to leave the narcissist and you're not sure how, I put everything in this one downloadable course just for you, so you don't have to figure it out. And it's really what I did in order to get away from my narcissist. And my narcissist wasn't my mother. My mother is the opposite of a narcissist, thank goodness. But I got into a relationship with a narcissist for many years, and he tried to destroy me. But thankfully, that did not happen. And I'm here sharing positivity and love and help for those who still need to get away from the narcissist. And I wish you much love, much happiness, and please avail yourself of that course below. It will tell you everything you need in order to heal. I also have a program that I developed to heal from my narcissistic abuse, and you can avail yourself of that below as well. And I think it'll help you to understand how you got into the relationship, meaning not how you got into the relationship, but when you have a narcissist in your life, you have to heal from that. And I put everything in this program called The Cracks Within Me to help people heal from narcissistic abuse. It is the worst abuse that you can experience, in my opinion. I know, and I don't lessen anybody else's abuse, but narcissistic abuse gets at your soul. It destroys your soul. And you need to have healing, specific healing for that. And you have to be very intentional about it. So please do avail yourself of the course below on how to get away from a narcissist and how to heal from narcissistic abuse. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.